Today, I'm upgrading my girlfriend's PC. I've torn it all down. We're gonna reuse the case and power supply and replace everything else. So for the motherboard, she went with the MSI X870E Edge Ti, which has the exact same connectivity as the X870E Tomahawk, except it's in white, gray, black, and silver. This is one of the most flexible boards when it comes to connectivity that doesn't share GPU lanes with any other slot. Originally, I suggested she use the MSI X870E Carbon Wi-Fi. Because her GPU only uses 8 lanes, she doesn't need all 16 that are going to the main PCIe slot. But it came down to aesthetics. The Carbon Wi-Fi is a dark board, and she wanted a light build. I love these connectors. So we'll quickly update the BIOS, and then we'll get to the CPU. So the red light stopped flashing, the BIOS is now updated, and we can power off our power supply and unplug the board. For the CPU, of course, she went with the AMD Ryzen 9800 X3D, which is a great gaming and all-around CPU. The 3D V-Cache should give her more frames at higher settings, and overall, her system will be snappier when using more demanding programs, especially multiple at once. For RAM, I have this 32 gig kit of 6400 CL38, which will work really well. Good capacity, and I'll drop it down to 6000 in 1-to-1 mode. The cast latency isn't anything special, but to get 6000 CL30 right now, the AM5 sweet spot, just isn't worth the price for performance when we already have a perfectly good kit. We're going to reuse the 500 gigabyte NVMe SSD for the Windows boot drive. And we've also added a 2 terabyte for her programs and storage. To install these, we want to make sure we take off the little strips for the heat pads. So to take the heatsink off, you press the little clip and it releases. And then to get the SSD in, you push it down and it snaps into place. Watch me struggle to install the easy DIY. For the second SSD, it's the same thing. Take off the strip. This slot in particular is shared with USB 4. So when we install a drive, the USB 4 will drop down to 2 lanes and 2 lanes will go to our SSD. If we want to change that, we can disable USB 4 in the BIOS and get all 4 lanes to the SSD slot. Installed. Next is our graphics card. For the graphics card, we have the NVIDIA, oh, that's a noise, RTX 5060 Ti, which will be a big improvement over her previous GTX 1660. It has 16 gigabytes of VRAM, and it should easily handle any games she plays up to 1440p, which is perfect because currently she has 1080p monitors and a 1080p TV. For the CPU cooler, we have the Arctic Liquid Freezer 3 Pro in white with RGB and an exhaust fan to match. Let's get everything in the case and build this PC. I'll start with the Liquid AIO. The front of this case supports a 360. I need to mount the rad first and then slide in the bottom fan. It won't fit as a single unit. After the AIO, I put in the motherboard. I also reused 2 of the front case fans for the top as intake, and we have the single exhaust out back. This should catch most of the graphics card's warm air. Lastly, these Arctic freezers are really easy to connect to the CPU. Just be aware if you have a Liquid Freezer 2 or 3, it is an offset mount, so when it's mounted correctly, you will see some of the CPU's IHS poking out the top. And it's done. Everything fit in the case. We got the 360 AIO to fit, so we'll have a lot of cooling. We also have quite a bit of hose. And around back, able to get some of the cables out of the way. A little bit more work to be done, but there she is. Let's boot it up. This is the first time I've built with RGB fans, and the light is a lot softer than I expected. I thought they'd be way more in your face. She'll be able to play with the colors and set a theme. She's going to replace the PSU cables and add some extensions to clean up some of the wires. In the BIOS, I set the RAM to Expo and then dropped it to 6000 with MCLK equal to UCLK. enabled memory context for fast boot, and hopped right into Cyberpunk. At 1080p with ray tracing off, I put the settings on high and created some chaos on a busy street. Our average frames are over 100, and heading to the less dense hills, we're averaging over 150. With ray tracing on and set to ultra, cruising through the city, we're seeing an average over 70 frames per second. This is the first and last time this PC will see Night City. I like to use Cyberpunk to get an idea of how things feel. Her new favorite game, Enshrouded, is less optimized. With the most current graphics driver, I ran into an issue. Apparently 50 series don't show grass with the most current driver. You can see the bare land on the left and how it should look on the right. I dropped the driver version and the grass came back. In Enshrouded at max quality, the average frames is around 50. If we drop to quality, it sits around 70. Balanced is over 80. In performance mode, it's over 100. Max performance, which she'll never use, is around 150. I set it to quality, it matches her monitor refresh rate, and it still looks great. She can bump it up to max quality and compare less average frames for the increase in detail. A great improvement over her last PC, and she absolutely loves it. If you want to check out prices for the parts we used, I put affiliate links in the description. Thanks for watching.